Imagine your life without the concept of video. No, seriously, try it. Perhaps not surprisingly, you would realize that was reality for most people up until the early 20th century, when cinema truly started to reach general audiences as a mode of entertainment. Yet, there's a difference between knowing that fact and understanding it, especially when you consider that the medium of video encompasses everything from TV shows, to TikToks, to GIFs. Everything, even the YouTube video you're watching right now, one can notice that in many ways, the average person today is very much shaped by the moving picture, or in other words, film. That might lead us to ask a question. What was the first film to ever be made? The answer is it really depends on what you define as a film. Most point to the famous 1888 Roundhay Garden scene, shot by Louis Le Prince, often considered to be the first ever short film, clocking in at a whopping... drumroll please. 2 seconds. Yeah. The plot is not very interesting, as one can tell. I mean, just a few fancy Victorians walking around a bit. But still, this was a revolutionary technical achievement, considering that it was shot with a single-lens motion picture camera. Previous quote-unquote films were rather most likely examples of film photography, in which a set of photographs of a moving object are taken, spliced together with the physical film, then being run through the zoopraxiscope, which is essentially a primitive version of the modern movie projector. When these still images are going through the zoopraxiscope at a rapid speed, it appears to be animated. The Horse in Motion, shot in 1878, was the first example of such a technique. Edward Muybridge was asked to capture the movements of California Governor Leland Stanford's thoroughbred, as the latter wanted to study how they ran in order to improve their breeding for horse races. He used 12 cameras to finish the feat, which isn't really very efficient by modern standards, but, you know. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but when did films, or in more colloquial terms, movies, first get shown to general audiences? Horse in Motion was mostly for scientific purposes, and the Roundhay Garden scene was archived and put into a museum, but again was not made for public consumption. Speaking of the Roundhay Garden scene, tangent time! Louis Le Prince, known today by some as the father of cinematography, has shot a few other films like Traffic Crossing Lee's Bridge in his lifetime after his directorial debut soared with the Roundhay Garden scene, but arguably never got to reach his full potential as he had mysteriously disappeared just 2 years later in 1890. As if that wasn't strange enough, his son, Adolphe Le Prince, was found shot dead about a decade later in 1901 after testifying as a defendant against a lawsuit brought by Thomas Edison, who claimed that he, not the vanished Le Prince, was the rightful inventor of cinematography. There are many conspiracy theories on what exactly happened. Maybe he committed suicide, or maybe he Jeffrey Epstein. No one knows for sure. Anyway, back to the main story time. When thinking about the first time a movie, or in this case movies, were screened publicly, we can turn our clocks back to 1895 Paris, when Lumiere brothers decided to shake things up a bit with their new and improved cinematograph, a film camera, projector, and printer all in one. They first exhibited workers leaving the Lumiere factory, which had a runtime of 46 seconds in March. Later, on December 28th, they screened 9 more films alongside to captivated audiences, the majority of whom, as you can imagine, had never seen anything like them before. The Lumieres made over 100 of these films in the next few years, and film history would be changed forever. These films were simple and purely captured the daily life of average people at the time, doing everyday activities. Still, the mundanity being displayed in those few early clips, at least to me, that's the beauty of cinema, the way it continues to amaze us in new and innovative ways each passing day, with slow yet impactful progress, whether it be technical or ideological. In my opinion, film is one of, if not the most impactful mediums to ever express the human experience. Chances are, if you have watched this far, you would agree. This is Breakfast at Mulholland, and thank you for watching. Okay, now subscribe.